In July, my electricity account didn't end with me receiving a bill. It ended with Octopus paying me £126, and that's probably the best monthly result I've ever had. And it happened because I switched away from Octopus Intelligent Go to Octopus Flux. Now that might seem counterintuitive because we have two electric vehicles. Surely Octopus Intelligent Go is the best choice. But that number hides something important. While Flux made my electricity much more profitable, it also made charging our two electric cars much more complicated. With Intelligent Go, we plugged our cars in and Octopus worked out when to charge them. With Flux, I found myself checking the weather, watching the home battery state, and deciding whether today's solar should power the house, charge the car, or be sold back to the grid. So did I genuinely choose a better tariff? Or have I traded simplicity for a system that only works because I'm constantly managing it? Now, I've examined the results from the transition month. Some of the numbers are remarkable, but the real story is what I had to do to achieve them. So why did I switch? Octopus Intelligent Go is designed to make electric car charging pretty straightforward. You plug in your car, tell Octopus when you need it, and allow Octopus to create a charging schedule. Most of the time, it simply works. That convenience is particularly valuable in our house because we have two electric vehicles. One is on Intelligent Go, and one is charged in the overnight cheap rate slots as a house load. It gave us access to inexpensive scheduled charging and allowed the cars to become a kind of background part of the home that we never really had to think about. But our home also has solar panels and battery storage. During the summer, that changes the calculation. When the solar panels are producing, there is so much electricity, the house gets everything it needs. And I have several choices. I can store the excess energy in the home battery. I can send it to one of the cars. I can use it to run things in the house that require a lot of electricity, like a hot tub, or have the heat pump heat hot water. And if I've done all of that, I can export it to the grid. But under the Flux tariff, the value of importing and exporting energy changes during the day. That creates an opportunity to store energy when it's less valuable and export it at a higher rate when it's more valuable, certainly to you, but also to the grid. The question was whether that opportunity would be worth giving up the absolute simplicity of Intelligent Go. So June was the month in which we moved to Flux. It would have been much earlier in the year, but Octopus put the Flux tariff on hiatus for a few months because of the ongoing troubles in the Middle East. So when it came back, I jumped as quick as I possibly could. But because June was a transition month, we basically had half on Intelligent Go, half on Flux. It means that June's not the perfect month to do a comparison between the two tariffs. It contains two different ways of operating the house, but it still provides a useful starting point. So during June, the house imported 429.9 kilowatt hours. So getting on for nearly half a megawatt hour of electricity. At the same time, we exported 625 kilowatt hours. Now, that imported electricity cost us £43.71, taking great advantage of the low overnight Octopus Intelligent Go tariff. The exported energy earned us £109.59. Now, during that month, there were also 3 Axle virtual power plant events, which earned us a further £26.35. And after including the standing charges, June finished up with a credit to us of £76.33. Now, a monthly electricity credit of more than £76 is already an excellent result. That means that you're not paying for anything that you've used and the energy company is giving you £76. But that was down a little on last year. Now, that could be down to weather and other related factors, but it was probably more down to Octopus reducing the export rates. So our export rates dropped from 15 pence per kilowatt hour to 12 pence per kilowatt hour in early 2026. So June was a bit of a mixed month. July would be my first opportunity to see what happened when Flux became my main tariff for the entire month. And that's where the numbers dramatically changed. During July, we imported only 77 kilowatt hours of electricity for the whole month. Remember, in June, that number was 429. That represents a reduction of approximately 82%. The cost of imported electricity fell from £43.71 in June to just £15.23 in July. The house exported 543 kilowatt hours during July, and that was actually less electricity than we exported in June. So despite exporting less energy, the value of those exports increased. June's exports earned us £109, whereas July's exports earned us £141. So we exported approximately 13% less electricity, but received approximately 29% more money for it. That is one of the clearest demonstrations of the potential value of Flux. The result is not determined only by how much electricity you export, it's determined by when you export that electricity. By making more energy available during the valuable export periods, each exported kilowatt hour can become more valuable. July also included 2 Axle Energy virtual power plant events. Those events added up to a further £16.48. After the import charges, standing charge, export payments and Axle earnings were included, July finished up as a credit of £126.42. That's an improvement of over £50 compared to June. It was also the best monthly result we've had not just in 2026, but since I've been recording data. Now, it would be easy to look at the virtual power plant payments and assume they created the whole July result. Now, they certainly helped, but they're not responsible for the overall success. Axle contributed £16.48 during July. Without that income, July would still have finished with a record result of £109.94 in credit. That would have been an exceptional monthly result, even without the Axle payments. The comparison with July 2025 makes the result look even more impressive. In July 2025, we finished with a credit of £31.39. July 2026 finished with a credit of £126.42. That's an improvement of £95.03. The July 2026 credit was approximately 4 times the credit we achieved in July 2025. And if memory serves, the weather wasn't that different. Now, if I only showed you those 2 months, it would be very easy to declare Flux is the clear winner. But a single summer month cannot tell us how a tariff performs across the entire year. In the winter, our driving habits change, we drive more and we ride our bikes less. Household consumption changes, the heat pump starts to heat the home from late autumn, and the amount of energy required by the cars changes. And the opportunity to export electricity at valuable times drops considerably. July proves that Flux can perform extremely well under the right circumstances. But I don't yet have the data to prove that Flux would be the best option under every condition. The financial results from July were excellent. There's no two ways about it. But the experience of achieving it was very different from using Intelligent Go. With Intelligent Go, charging the cars was based on an automatic schedule. With Flux, charging became much more dependent on energy availability within the entire home. On a strong solar day, this can work brilliantly. The solar panels can run the house, they can charge the home battery, they can put energy into one or both of the cars, they can heat the hot tub, and they can run the entire home. And then come the peak period, now Flux, that's between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., there is enough electricity available in the batteries to export a significant chunk during the valuable peak period. But solar generation's not consistent. A solar forecast can predict sunshine only for a bank of cloud to roll in, and one car might return home needing a substantial charge, the other car might require a full charge the following morning, the home battery might be partially depleted, and the house still needs enough energy to get through the evening. I then have to decide where the available energy is most valuable. Should it charge the home battery? Should it charge one of the cars or be split between both? Should I retain it to avoid importing electricity later? Or should I export it while the export rate is high and potentially have to import from the grid later when the cars need to be charged? The Flux tariff asks me to optimize the entire home. Now that is much more powerful and puts more money in my pocket, but it's much more complicated. The reduction in imported electricity between June and July is dramatic. Imports fell from 429 kilowatt hours to 77 kilowatt hours. And we didn't change anything. We didn't suddenly stop doing something to conserve electricity. But I need to be careful about how I interpret that result. This was real household data. This is not some controlled scientific experiment. The weather was not identical between the 2 months, solar generation was not identical, our driving habits weren't identical, household consumption may also have changed. The transition between the two tariffs took place during June, which makes June a mixed comparison month. Flux may well have influenced the way energy moved around the home. Charging the cars from available solar will have reduced the amount we imported from the grid a little bit. But I can't claim that changing tariff caused every part of the 82% reduction. What I can say is the combined Flux solar panels, battery storage, and more active energy management produced an extremely low import month. And this is still a significant result, but it's simply important to describe it accurately and say this isn't going to be the same for every single person who makes the transition from Intelligent Go to Flux. There's no doubt about it, July was an exceptional month. But the wider comparison provides some essential context. From January to the first few days of August, the 2026 data showed a total credit on our energy bills of £137.33. Using the monthly comparison figures, the equivalent period during 2025 produced approximately £121.91 of credit. That means the year-to-date improvement is only £15.42. Now, this is because Octopus have reduced the export rates in 2026, and that's important. July improved by more than £95 compared to July the previous year. But across the wider year-to-date period, much of that advantage was offset by the results from earlier months. One outstanding summer month doesn't automatically make one tariff better across an entire year. Flux appears to be particularly well suited to periods of stronger solar generation. The more difficult test will come as solar production starts to fall as we head into the winter. That is when cheap, predictable EV charging becomes more valuable once again. So winter will determine whether Flux is a successful year-round tariff or primary and excellent summer tariff. During the summer, there can be enough solar generation to run my entire house, charge the battery, put energy in the cars, and export electricity. During the winter, those priorities will compete for a much smaller amount of available solar generation. The home battery may need to be charged from the grid more frequently, The cars will still require energy, household consumption will definitely go up, and there will be much less surplus electricity available during the valuable export period. And that could significantly change the financial calculation. It could make Intelligent Go's automatic cheap charging slots feel much more attractive. July has shown me that Flux can achieve, under favourable conditions, really great results. But winter will show me how flexible the tariff really is when those conditions disappear. And the likelihood is I will switch back to Intelligent Go for the winter. So was switching from Intelligent Go to Flux worth it? Based on the July financial results, the obvious answer is yes. A monthly credit of £126 is exceptional. I imported very little electricity. I earned more from July's exports despite exporting less electricity than I did in June. And the home battery also generated additional income through virtual power plant events. But Flux has required much more active involvement. Charging 2 electric cars is no longer something I can leave to the automatic schedule. It's dependent on weather. It depends on how much energy the cars require. It requires me to look at the state of the home batteries, and it requires me to take into account predicted household consumption. And it depends on how much electricity I want to make available during the valuable export period. Flux has delivered a better summer financial result, but Octopus Intelligent Go delivers a simpler, much simpler charging experience. The right tariff therefore depends on what you value most. If you have solar panels, batteries, flexible electricity use, and a willingness to manage everything, Flux can be extremely rewarding. If your priority is predictability and effortless EV charging, Intelligent Go remains very difficult to beat. For me, July proves that Flux experiment is working, but winter will determine whether it works for the entire year or if I pull the trigger and jump back to Intelligent Go. Now, I'd be interested to know what tariff you're on. What are you currently using? Are you with Octopus or with another provider? Are you actively managing your charging, your battery, your exports, all of that good stuff? Or would you rather just let the system handle it? Now, the full import data, if anyone wants to go through this, is available on my website. I'll put a link in the description below. And I'm going to continue tracking Flux through the rest of the summer into the autumn until such point as I believe that it's starting to cost me money by being on that tariff, at which point I will probably switch back to Octopus Intelligent Go. With that, I'm going to sign off. I hope you found this interesting. If you do have any questions, please do hit me up in the comments below. If I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.